I'm Don Pettit, and we have Dan Burbank here. We're on the International Space Station.
Get in.
To me, a frontier is a place where your normal intuition no longer applies. The answers are not in the back of the book, and you're going to have to figure things out for yourself. And this makes an environment that's rich in discovery. It makes an environment where the things you learn are going to tickle your imagination and enrich your mind. And then you share them with everybody on Earth. And that is the value of going into these frontiers. And another feature of a frontier is that once you start answering questions, you will find that the very questions you asked to begin with were not the right questions that needed to be asked in the first place. And this character is what's going to keep human beings from becoming a fossil layer eroding out from some hillside on planet Earth. And we won't become dinosaurs. After all, if the dinosaurs explored the space, if they colonized other planets, they would still be alive today.
I got to play the didgeridoo. I'm not really that much of a musician, and I certainly don't look like one. And, you know, the kind of people that play didgeridoos, they look pretty much like musicians. And maybe I better do something so I look a little bit more like a didgeridoo player. Stand by. So I got a pair of scissors and I made my crew shirt into a real musician didgeridoos kind of attire. And so I can play my didgeridoo now. Now, let me change out the right angle adapter for the crevice tool. And what we're going to do now is we're going to hook two hoses together. Now I'm going to be out of the camera picture because this is a long didgeridoo. And when we're all done, we can clean up Space Station and vacuum out all the HEPA filters that collect all the little dust bunnies and things that are generated during the course of a week's worth of activity.
Husqvarnas, Yamahas, DMZs.
It's an interesting mix of science, music, a little bit of culture.
You're not Portuguese, man.
And a little bit of cleaning supplies.
Winkles, per se, Swedish fireballs.
So there's a lot of very interesting science going on here.
A couple of triumphs here and there, a CZ, all very, very fast.
We're hypothesizing that by putting this right angle adapter on it, that essentially you're cutting the frequency in half. And making it a higher pitch because you're essentially anchoring a node here. There'll be a node at this end, and you'll essentially have a standing wave down the length of this hose. With two hoses, and if you remove it and put the crevice tool, our thinking is that that you've now got a pitch of a tone that's about half of that, so it's a much lower tone. And then if you attach two ends of the hose or two hoses together, it's getting lower still. And so it's really interesting, and it's also very interesting to see how the size of the spheres is affected by the tone. So the spheres are tuned, and you can excite a mode in those, and it's dependent upon the tone as well.
What a race it's going to be.
is I'm putting some coffee there in the bag. And this is what we use when we design fuel tanks for rockets to reignite in a weightless environment. And as you sip, more fluid just keeps coming up and up and up. And you can enjoy a cup of coffee in a weightless environment without having to sip it from a bag. And you can just keep sipping and sipping and sipping, clear down to the last drop in the cup. And this may very well be what future space colonists end up using when they want to have a celebration and do a toast. They can sip their coffee and their tea from cups like this, like we do down here on Earth, without having to suck them from a bag. Like we do down here on Earth.
Don, we really enjoyed that. This is a lot of fun.
And you can see I'm continuing to suck the coffee out, or actually sip the coffee, because we're no longer sucking out of a bag now. We're drinking from a cup, and the coffee continues to climb up that acute angle, and until the whole bag is drained. And that's the end of the video. I wanted to share that with you, a little discovery we made.
It's always an interesting exercise to look at all the things around you and try to look at them in a different way.
We know what you're up to.